Welcome, everybody. This is Mark, aka Price169, coming to you guys with another live upload, live video, live stream. We want to call it. Today is Sunday. It is 12:09 in the morning. It is the 15th, and you know what that means. It's time for the new weekend roundup. Um, Today's live stream video is going to be about weekend news, $80 games, unfinished games. There's games. What are we paying for? Games not ready. There's a few games out there that have come to mind that have been looked at as being unfinished and untamed and things of that nil that need to be restrained, be explained. It's really something that needs to be looked at a little more. And the gaming community seem to think that we can just keep on kicking the can down the road, so to speak. I think that's about the biggest thing we can do is do that, but that's also a dangerous thing to do because when we do that, we get games that are not finished. And you might be asking yourself, well, which game's not finished now? And I can kind of tell you which game is not finished now. Um, Looking at the situation at hand, getting an idea of what I'm looking at and what's going on. There's a lot of unfinished games that we played over the years that we shouldn't have played over the years. We should not have played a lot of these games. We shouldn't have given a lot of these games the money that we did, and we did. And now games being $80 now, we need to scrutinize these game companies and games even more. I think that's the biggest thing. We have to start scrutinizing these companies a lot harder than we have done already. I think we haven't done that yet. We haven't done that. We haven't done anything like that yet. We have not given the time that needed to give to do that. We've only just kept, you know, giving these companies money and accepting their excuses. And we shouldn't accept their excuses. And mind's eye comes into play. You might ask yourself, well, what is mind's eye? Okay, well, mind's eye was a third person shooter. Supposed to be the most realistic or real fantasy type of game where you could play. I never played it. I haven't heard much about it, so I can't really tell you much about it. That's how obscure this game is. Okay, game was created by one of the creators that left. I do believe, not Bungie, but left somebody, a big, no, a big developer. No, Rockstar. He left Rockstar to create this game, Mind's Eye, and the game totally bombed. It was buggy mess, a new studio that was created for this one game alone. And the game is like, I think like $80 or $70, whatever it is. I've been thinking to myself, for the last couple hours, day. I saw if I can think a day or two. Young She, a young Lee, who's one of the YouTubers who I subscribe down below to, did a video on that game as well as a few others, talking about how the game was garbage and it was a good premise, but the game was so buggy that even PlayStation was giving out refunds. The only time they did that was during the whole Cyberpunk 2077 fiasco on the PS4 and Pro. Meanwhile, if you had a PS5, it ran decently on the 5. Still had glitches, but it ran better. Barely. But that's something that we can talk about. Games working barely. We're not paying for barely working games. If you want $80 out of us, John Q. Company, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, if you want us to give you $80 and you give us $80 worth of value game, that means what we want: games working 100%, all DLC included, no BS, all all the future DLC and what do you want to call them stuff added for free. If we're giving you a premium product, you give us premium cash. You give us premium product, or you make a $50 tier and an $80 tier, just like when you did the Titanfall 2 deluxe edition that I bought for $80. They had it had extra future maps. Future Weapon had the first DLC, and it had stuff that came out later on, obviously, and that's fine. Thank you for the like, the thumbs up, whoever it was. Probably boxing, but I appreciate you guys boxing. Appreciate you guys watching my video, all you guys. Um, but the point being is this, guys. The games need to be more than just a coat of paint and look good on the on the preview screen on Steam or Xbox or even at GameStop, for example. If you buy a hard copy, and this kind of proves the point of buying hard copies of that game, Mind's Eye. You still had to return it to the store. And how much money did GameStop had to give back if you bought it at GameStop? Would they give you a full refund? They probably would, but let's say they didn't. Hey George, why? Yeah, but not, yeah, George. I'm trying to keep a certain time frame. Usually 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday night, Sunday morning, do I try to do my live stream. I have a big window because I may take a nap or whatever if I'm off or whatever, or something goes wrong, something goes on. I could be playing with friends or whatever. I try to have because I have friends who live out of state where I play with online. And I try to have a window between 11 and 2 where I can make the live stream. That way, it's a big gigantic broad, and no, I'm not gonna sit there and talk for 4 hours. But if I have 2 to 4 hour window, I can fit in a 25, 30, 40 minute live stream in that time frame. If I have selling at 10, 11 o'clock, only those times, then it becomes an issue because I got friends who come online, hey, Marcus, play, and we'll go play something like Helldivers 2 or whatever, or Halo or whatever. So yeah, I try to keep it between 11 and 2. That way, it's very broad. So it's 12 eat. Start at 12 o'clock because I had to play with friends earlier. But going back to the Mind's Eye thing, and then that fiasco, if we're giving you Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, if we're giving you $80, we want $80 of game. We want, like I said, free DLC, patches, no issue, because we all understand games have patches nowadays, the way the world works. We want DLC, expansions, F ton of game. We don't want to be paying $50 for an expansion pack when you guys charge us $80. No. Then you charge us bare bones, like hey, $30 for the game. Then you charge us $50 for the DLC. That's $80 and fine. Because if you don't want that DLC crap, you just want the base game, play it, and be done with it. You save $30. Because like I said before, I'm saying this again, guys. Gaming is not a poor man's hobby. There's nobody out there pours dirt playing games, on a $3,000 gaming rig. Well, originally 1,700, but now what's if I have it $3,000, or a $700 Pro, or a 450 Switch 2, or a $700 Xbox that it costs nowadays. So, hey, boxing, I've been good, buddy. Like I said, I've been sick for the last 2 weeks, so I came back about a week ago. I appreciate you guys and your prayers and your time. I know I talked about it. You guys send me a lot of prayers. I appreciate that. It's had a stomach issue with IBS symptoms, so I could have IBS. But I am eating healthier though, so that's even better. I'm going to the gym a lot more, eating healthier, so it's good. So I guess you have to I guess you have to make a change when you have to. I guess when Doc says you got to make a change, I guess it's time to make a change. But going back to the subject at hand, 80 other games that they're not working or not really expanding. Super Mario You know, Mario Kart World, prime example of a game, $80. Feels like $80, a lot of game. You know, it's a lot of game too. Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a lot of game too as well. It costs half that, about maybe $30 less, about $30 less on original Switch, or even $20 less, and had more. We all know when you buy a brand new a game like Mario Kart 8 or whatever, Halo, Gears of War, Call of Duty, especially Halo, Gears of War, Halo and Call of Duty. You know, the expansions will come out and the game will come and be better. So buying the game, buying Mario Kart World, or we don't call it Tour, is not a feasible idea day one because it's gonna be bare bones. But it's $80. And my view is $80 cash, $80 game. What I mean by that, yeah, I did do that. And I'm not real big on the Gears of War online play. I'll play it friend back in 360, but I'm usually a story mode guy, a horde guy, mostly a story guy. And then once I'm done with it, I'm pretty much done with it. Because to me, Gears of War is kind of more of a story based game to me than an online game. It was never good online. It was fun, but it was never the meat and potatoes, as they would say. It was, just a good filler, but it wasn't the main course as the story is. But going back to topic though, if you are charging us $80, they're Nintendo, Microsoft, we want $80 game. We want $80 of profit, of brand profit. We want $80 of a transaction. What I mean, trying to say is that we want, like I said, DLC, all of it. I don't give a damn how expensive it is to create. $80 for you, you give us free DLC, free expansions. We're talking everything, baby. Because if you don't, screw you. I ain't gonna pay no $8 for a damn driving around simulator. I can go play GTA 5 and drive around and have a better time. Or Lego City Undercover on the Switch and just drive around and just be totally crazy and not have to worry about driving around as Mario or Donkey Kong or whatever. That's just me. Like I said, John, and now I'm laughing at the old gamer that understands value like this. And I'm not saying that you guys who are 20 years old don't understand, but you don't understand. You don't understand that the value of games have pretty much gone down the toilet. Your car sitting in your driveway you bought brand new is more value than the game you bought, and correctly so. You're not going to drive to work on your Nintendo Switch 2. You know, you're going to drive to work on your car. So I get why there's certain things that decrease value, but games shouldn't decrease value the second you walk out the door or press you know proceed to checkout and check out. You should have some value to that. If that means Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony decide to do like a trade system, so it's like GameStop, where say a certain amount of time in the game you played it, whether you want to trade it in for some money or currency to use it toward another game, maybe. But even then, it's kind of rough for me to swallow that because you're giving $80, you might get $25 back. Now, what kind of hell kind of no, what kind of hell kind of agreement is that? So that's what games have always announced when you got a game on pre-order and picked it up. So if you bring the game back in 3 days, you get $30 for it, cash and store credit. They don't do that much anymore. They don't do that much because they don't do a whole lot of you know pre-order parties anymore like they used to. The last one I went to was I think was bad was Titanfall and Borderlands 2. But anyway though, $80 games to me are not worth it. Especially when games like Mine Eye cost about $70, $60, and the game is not working because it's glitched, bugs, whatever. I get games are more expensive. I get games require a lot more TLC. I get, yeah, but I also get to the $80 is, I have $80 on my gas card. Okay, I put $84 on my gas card. I put fuel on my car today for work this week coming up. So to me personally, $80 is a lot of money. You could buy some groceries. You could do this. You could do that. $80, and you could take you and your kids out to McDonald's if you want to have that kind of thing, or whatever. There's a lot of things you can do. You can get a movie ticket and a theater. I mean, some popcorn. You can do a lot of things with $80. Go buying the game to me is not one of them. Unless it's unless it's some DLC included game where they include DLC in every game from now until the end of time. Like, spoiler, they won't. They won't give a damn about that. But no, they're gonna include DLC and some expansion packs. Even if they include the first year expansion or first 2 years expansion for what included $80, and the third and fourth one you have to pay for, if they include that, that may be value. But to me, $80 should include all expansions, all DLC, whatever. You don't want us to get that free, then make tiers of the game that are cheaper. Make a $70 game that has only maybe one of those DLC or expansions. Make a $40 game that has none of it, and you guys spend $20 more each time. If you want money out of us, there, Mr. Game Company, John Q Game Companies, you have to start making sense. An $80 game doesn't make sense to me when you still got to put in consideration DLC. Now Microsoft's come out and said that the $80 game for Call of Duty hopefully would and should include all DLC. Now if they honor that agreement or give us the middle finger. We're gonna find out real quick here when Black Ops 7 is being launched later this year. They said they could push it back to next year. It'd be better off if they did. But it's Call of Duty, like Madden, comes out every year and it needs patches anyway. Um, Madden's pretty cool, but still, it's the same game on a new coat of paint. But the point being is this, guys, and if you start thinking about it, how I've been thinking about it. If we want to have the best experience as gamers, we're gonna have to force the game companies to force us to give them money. What I mean by it is not have a fisticuff brawl in your yard. No, not have a shootout in some alley. No, but to have a common sense dialogue saying if you want $80 from me, you need to give me $80 value. Well, I mean all DLC, all expansion packs, everything from that first year. And then let's say a year expansion packs are like say 4 or 6. Let's do the Battlefield 2070 and then 2042. That's 2077. Sorry, 2042. Way they had expansions almost every couple months. Granted, they gave us the first 5 because the game was total trash. And then when it finally worked, they started charging for, I think, for 6, 7, and 8. So if they give, let's say it's the Battlefield way, it's like 5 or 7 per year. They give you the first year of those. Then next year, when it goes to 7 or 8, you pay $50 or whatever for that second year. I think the whole thing should be free regardless. $80 all, but I have to understand that these people got to make money too, and I get it. I'm not stupid. I've been retail for 30 years. I understand add-on sales is important, but also important is people having money to go buy gas in their car to go to work and buy food and whatever the case may be. But a compromise has to come somewhere. They have to do something. They have to figure out, okay, how we get the most money without squeezing the nipples of our consumers They're already pissed anyway as it is. With this, we know with the tariffs and embargoes and the issues with this, that, and the other going on in the world today, and the riots in the streets and burning down everything and chaos going all over the world. No, how can we not have them, want to burn our building down and and run us out of town? I know. Let's give DLC the first year, all of it to them, and next year we'll charge $30 instead of $60 for the same DLC, or change it or charge it a la carte where you can buy what you want. If you don't want expansion 3, you want 1, 2, and 4 for whatever reason, you can do that. That would be very fair because you're adding value to it. But if you're going to sit there and just force us, rip out 50% of the game and throw it in DLC, then you can take that game and shove it up your ass. That's how I feel by it. Because I'm 44 years old. I don't care. I'm old. My filter is broken. My work filter, my happy filter is broken. I don't have a filter anymore, so I don't care how I come off to people, especially the game industry when they treat us like we're just damn retarded children. Just give them money because it is shit game in front of our face. We're supposed to give them money, and that ain't the case. Give us value for me to keep paying you. If you World of Warcraft don't sit there and yeah, you pay $10. We used to pay $10 a month for World of Warcraft, and like 30, $40 for expansions. Yeah, because World of Warcraft and Blizzard knew what they needed to do. The gamers who were heavy in World of Warcraft knew that hey, the latest expansion coming out, I gotta get it. It's $50. I pay $10 a month. Servers are being worked on by my $10. So pretty cool. I'm gonna buy this expansion. And there's people who've been playing World of Warcraft since day one, about 20 plus years ago. Probably longer than that. So that right there is a success story that Microsoft has now because they own Blizzard now. That they can they can nurture that and not destroy it. So you know what? We charge all this money for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Our servers are still doing well and stuff like that though, and fine. At least that's something. But also, that's a rule of PC gaming. You pay for the server. You're not paying for online play. Because a lot of games you can buy nowadays, you can play online without having gold. I can go play any Halo game on PC without having to have Game Pass Ultimate. I have a Microsoft account, but they just want to make sure that the Microsoft account's active. But you don't have to have one to play it. I do because I came from an Xbox, PlayStation kind of thing. So that's where I think where they get a lot of people in this false sense of security, and these console fanboys who are arguing about paying all this money to play online. Yeah, I heard about that. You know, Griffball. I mean, Griffball was fun back in the day. But going back into it though, playing for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to play on a console to me is kind of silly. They should allow you to play online if you want to, without having to pay for it. No, I believe it. I need to start playing Halo again eventually. I'll probably play it next weekend, probably. Um, but looking at the total sense of it all, though, console fans have been playing and paying and myself included, been paying for gold for years. To access things like Facebook and Netflix. Now this Phil comes in and says, "Hey, it's all free. They can accept the online multiplayer." I think all multiplayer should be free. I think Game Pass Ultimate should have an option where you can play silver or gold. You silver, you can still play online. You can chat with certain people, but you don't get the hundreds of games to play. It allows you to play online for free. You get online stuff. But if you don't want to have the gold, you don't have to online. Online, you don't have to. You can play every game you own online. the Halos, the Call of Duty, whatever, would I have to have Game Pass Ultimate. But if you don't have that, then you can't deal with that kind of stuff. You can't have fun games. Well, guys, this is it. This is enough rambling from a fat guy. I gotta go take care of some things. I gotta clean my bathroom and stuff. I do it like once a week. So I do all this stuff, guys. Think of me when I'm cleaning the bathroom. No, don't do that. But think of the fact, guys, that the game industry that we're in right now, the game industry that we have right now, is a game industry that was created by the fact of corporate greed and corporate stupidity. They thought that we're stupid, and they realized how stupid we are not by addressing the fact that we don't want to pay for $8 games, that we want to have games that are finished 100%, and hopefully Battlefield 7 and Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and the rest of them come out, will not have math problems. Now, a couple glitches here and there, a couple stress tested servers may collapse. Okay, those things you cannot, help. You're gonna have that. That's just the way it is. But if it's a game that's totally destroyed, looking like crap, like Mind's Eye was, or Bass 2042, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Helldivers 2, they had this bad coding because the game wasn't created correctly or wasn't given a little more TLC, then that's wrong. But what do you guys think? Comment down below about this topic. Do you think the $8 games are worth it? And when the state of the gaming is, you guys feel that $8 games have high hope for the game industry, since that they don't even understand how to make a game work that costs $60. Comment down below, guys. If you're brand new to the channel, like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you know if the video becomes available. Peace out, everyone. I'll see you guys later. Peace.